Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you the basic exercises that I do to start training a horse at liberty. This has worked with my horse Monte and with lots of different friends' horses. I think it's an extremely effective way of training them to work at liberty, and hopefully it helps some of you guys. So what you're going to need is just a plain old halter and lead rope. And I also like to use a whip as an extension of my arm, and it just helps with a lot of the cues to make everything run a bit smoother. I use just a regular dressage whip, but you can literally use anything that you have. So if you look at the general way that we lead a horse, or that we are taught to lead a horse, you'll probably notice that a lot of people hold on to the base of the halter or on up at the top of the lead rope, and they're leading the horse completely through their hand and through pressure on the halter. And what we want to do with liberty is use our bodies and our movement rather than using the halter and the lead rope. These first few exercises that we do are going to be purely replacing the lead rope and the halter with cues from our body to get the horse to walk on, to stop and to turn. So I'm a little bit too far forward here. You want to stand back towards your horse's shoulder and have your lead rope quite slack, and your whip in your left hand. You're going to ask your horse to walk on, but instead of pulling them by the halter, you're going to use energy coming from your whip and point your hand forward. At first, your horse might not understand what you're asking, so what you can do is step back towards their hind end and use your whip behind them to try and push them forward. And if this doesn't work, you can then use a little bit of pressure from your lead rope at the same time as using motion from your whip. To ask your horse to stop, simply stand very upright with your body and lean back, and use voice cues such as whoa at the same time. Try to avoid putting any pressure on the halter. If you have a horse that's a little bit pushy, you might need to put a bit of pressure on it first until they understand what you're asking. To ask my horse to turn to the left, I'm going to invite him in with my body by leaning one way and opening up that hand. You can see here how I'm really exaggerating the movement. I'm making it very obvious what I want the horse to do. And you should exaggerate most of your cues when you're first starting to teach your horse, just so that they understand a little bit quicker. If your horse starts to slow down, simply wave your whip towards their hind end to encourage them forward. To turn my horse to the right, I would look in the direction that I want to go, and I would use my hands and the lead rope to turn the horse's face away from me. You should continue these exercises until you're satisfied with how your horse responds to the cues, and you can also use these regularly as a warm-up for your liberty. You can then use these same cues and start adding exercises to go with them, such as using bending poles like I am here. When you feel like your horse understands and that you have their attention, you can take these exercises to the next step by tying the lead rope around their neck and not using it at all, and just relying on your body movements. But at the same time, you've got that lead rope there if you need it and if you feel like your horse isn't listening. You can then increase the difficulty by not actually bending with your horse, but rather pointing or using your body movements in the direction that you want your horse to go. You can see here that I'm not actually walking with Monte, but rather pushing him in the direction that I think he should go. When you really start to feel confident, you can practice increasing the speed and taking off the halter and lead rope. I know that these exercises seem quite basic, but trust me, they really do work, and it's really important to remember to have fun with it. The more you practice these exercises, the better your horse will get. This is Monte after a few weeks of learning liberty, and you can see that he's really starting to understand what I'm asking him to do and forming a great foundation for his liberty work in the future. These basic exercises are really easy, and your horses will generally pick them up quite quickly, and they really are the basis of forming a great connection with your horse at liberty. In my next video, I'll show you how to incorporate these exercises into starting liberty circles. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll answer them as best as I can. Thank you.